So welcome to the kitchen. Um, you might be wondering, why are we in a kitchen? Because I'm going to make some simple syrup. One of the things I've read is that you need to have something to feed your bees. And you also use simple syrup to, when you're hiving the bees, you spray them down, it kind of sticks their wings, makes them fly a little less, easier to get out of the box into the beehive. And I've been to IFA, and they have pre-made bee food in gallon jugs, but it's like around $20. And so I've done some reading around and found that you can just use a simple syrup, which, if you're familiar with cooking, that's just it's water and sugar in different ratios. And when you break down the sugar in water, it actually becomes an invert sugar, and it's sweeter. Um, so I'm making my syrup because I found out a couple days ago that the bees are coming this Saturday, so I have to get all this stuff ready to go. The recipe for this simple syrup, from what I've read for use with bees, is really easy. It's a 1-to-1 ratio of water to sugar using weight. So what I've got in here is 2.5 quarts of water. That's 5 pounds of water. A pint of water is a pound, and a quart is 2 pints. So 2.5 quarts, 5 pints, 5 pounds of water. And then I've got just some simple household granulated sugar, 5 pounds of it here in this bowl. And what's going to happen is, when this gets to a rolling boil, we're going to just turn off the heat and dump the sugar in and stir it until it's dissolved. Once it's dissolved, we then just let it cool to room temperature before we do anything with it. It's that easy. You don't want to, though, put the sugar in and have it still boiling while you're mixing the sugar in, because the temperature is going to keep rising, and you're going to caramelize the sugar, and then you can't use that for the bees. So we bring the water to a boil, turn off the heat, put in your 5 pounds of sugar, and stir until it's dissolved. And you could scale this up to make more sugar syrup if you want, or scale it down. Just remember, a 1-to-1 ratio by weight of water to sugar. So that's that. In a few seconds, this will be boiling, and I'll show you the next steps. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the water to a good rolling boil, and now we're just gonna turn the water off, turn the heat off, and there I go. 5 pounds of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. Just pour it in. The water's not boiling. And now I'm just going to stir until that dissolves. That's it. So I've moved the pot of simple syrup to the back of the stove just to let it cool slowly. When it's done, I'll put it in a spray bottle, and then keep the rest of it in another bottle that can be used to feed the bees. And on that point, let me show you one other thing that I didn't show in an earlier video when I was showing the beehive setup. Just a second. There are different ways to feed your bees, and I've read about hive top feeders and all these different types of feeders. And what I've decided, I don't know, maybe this won't work, but I'm going to give it a shot, is to use this. This is an entrance feeder. And what this does is you put it in the little slot at the bottom of the hive, where the bees enter and exit. And then you take just a normal quart jar, and you fill this up with your syrup, screw this lid on, and this lid comes with this little feeder, and as you can see, it's perforated. It has little holes in it. You fill it up with the syrup, put it in there, and you stick this in the entryway. And it doesn't just flood out because the holes are so small. The liquid doesn't drip out. The bees actually have to come up and stick their proboscis in there and suck out some syrup. And so it's right there for them in the entranceway to the hive. They can get in and out. You can easily see it from outside the hive, and you don't have to open up the hive to refill a hive top feeder and disturb the bees that way. I figured this would be a less disturbing way to feed the bees. So that's going to be on my hive as well. I got this for like $10 on Amazon through, I think the maker is Mannlake, Mannlake. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try it. Hopefully it does. But that way the bees keep their food easily accessible, and they can get all the sugar that they need when they're starting off the hive.